Sometimes you just have a crazy idea and you have to think, why on earth did we try this? And we might be thinking that after 15 laps. I have no idea, but I'm so excited because the MX-5s are green at Daytona in the rain. Let's go racing! Already a mess at the back. Nick Ciampa's gone around, and it looks like Chris Fleming's already had an incident. Now going through the kink and into the Western Horseshoe, looks like Cody Pennell already leading this one. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey behind him, and then you've got the two Duncan twins, Connor Morse in the 62, Matt Seeger in the 16, last week's winner, Donald Ray in the 5. He sits just ahead of Kyle St. Jean in his, I think, anime machine. No idea what that is. How about Corey's cousin, Mike LaJoy, showing up in the Logitech colors with Briley Wright and Connor Knowlton also squeezing behind him. Heavy on the brakes. And Connor Knowlton in the 3 looks like he's going to sneak to the inside. Watch this. And into the famous Daytona bus stop. Kyle St. Jean has a great line right ahead of Donald Ray coming into the bus stop. Connor Morse also right ahead of Matt Seeger. Matt Seeger's sister Emily is in the house cheering on for her brother. Cody Pennell looks like he went off the racetrack there, but he's already got an amazing grip on this track. And he's had to slow it down because it looks like he definitely went off the track there. Let's see what happened with car 28. This is the Red Bull machine. Yep, he just went off track there, and he absolutely just had to just give up that time that he gained, and it cost him the exit of the bus stop. But now check this out at the front. Connor Morse on the outside of Nick Pressey. He's going to make his line on the inside, and now at speed, under braking into turn number 1. Everybody makes it through clean and green. Let's go on board with car 94. Nick Pressey abusing the transmission, going in way too hot. Headed towards the kink. And now they're going to drag race, both he and Connor Morse. There's your battle for the first position. Landon in the chat cheering for the Bluegrass Bandits. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Oh, God, there goes one of the Duncan cars. You haven't missed a thing yet. Already a crazy first lap. Nick Ciampa, Kyle St. Jean, all having an incident here. Nick Pressey is the meat in this Duncan sandwich, and Cody Pennell is back on attack. Let's go on board with car 28. Single wide, 4 cars deep out of turn number 2. Watch the draft here. Seeger on the outside of Nick Pressey. Cody Pennell's going to want a bite out of this cherry. They're going to go almost 3 wide into the bus stop. Nick Pressey with the advantage on driver's left-hand side, getting on the brakes early, and Connor Morse being brave, throwing that Mazda into the mix. Briley Wright, Mike LaJoy also going to go side by side, and then off the racetrack, and Donald Ray decides to fly off the track. What in the world happened here? He's going to have to jump into the pits. He just flew off the track. What happened to Donald Ray? Jim Kerr goes around. What happened? What happened? On lap 2, everybody decides to crash in the bus stop. Watch this. There's Donald Ray, who's already spun his race car. Watch these two. Briley Wright's going to go, then Mike LaJoie, then Donald Ray. Jimmy Kerr's going to spin. 4 cars already. This is the most chaotic I've ever seen a second lap of racing. Now, this is what we expected. There goes, not Mark Dila. There he is in the 22. Kyle St. John in the 55. It wasn't this bad on lap 1. There's Donald Ray, who's going to jump to the pits, and we may never see him again. Connor Knowlton went purple. 2:25.92. At the front, Brooklyn's Nick Pressey is still moving, as opposed to 4 other cars that just crashed before him. Sanity resumes among the top 4, now 5. Connor Knowlton wants to join this mix. Briley Wright still ahead of Mike LaJoie. 1.5 seconds back. Dakota Pierce now has a bumper full of Colin McDonough. This is for the, what, the 8th position? I have no idea. And was there contact or was that net code? And there goes another driver. It's like watching Pee-wee hockey, right? They just can't stand up. They fall over all the time. Can we go back? Can we go back to that? Just what happened? This is hilarious. But I want to know exactly what happened here. See if we can get a look with the blimp. Did they even make contact? Yeah, okay, they absolutely made contact. And then Briley Wright loses the front end of his race car, and the B-Thick car is now B-Gone. Connor Knowlton by himself. And whoever lasts in this race to the end really will just have done it by not crashing. 3 laps about to be complete at iRacing's Daytona. If you just tuned in, I normally say you haven't missed a thing. You've missed a hell of a lot. And then Emily asked me way earlier about my thoughts about Kansas City and Philadelphia going to the Super Bowl. I mean, 2 of the best teams this year. And opinions aside, you have to... Game recognized game. You got to give it up to Patrick Mahomes. He's an unbelievable athlete. That whole Kansas City team is just fantastic at what they do. And it's no surprise that they've made it to the Super Bowl yet again. Good for Philadelphia. You know, after there was a decline there after Kelsey's retirement. Just a decline after just a couple of years of are they Super Bowl contenders? And they are. They're for real. Definitely 2 of the best teams of the last decade, I think. Obviously disappointed for my Detroit Lions, but you know, we got to keep trying. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? So we got to keep trying. And Connor Knowlton's doing the same thing there in 5th. So Connor understands. Detroit's going to come back. We're going to try again, and hopefully we'll have a chance to fight for the championship next year. Cody Pennell wants to fight for the lead and the championship right frickin' now. He just weaves past everybody going through here. Watch this. This is at the beginning of lap number 4. Cody Pennell just takes the lead into turn number 1. And he's going to go into the horseshoe, just flying past everybody else. And he's already half a second on pole. Half a second ahead of the rest of the competition. He took the pole. Much love. Shout out Emily in the chat as well, saying we'll get them next year. We absolutely will get them next year. Don't you worry. So 15 laps is the intended distance tonight. Cody Pennell sits ahead of Connor Morse. The Duncan twins, nose to tail. Nick Pressey decides, I'm just going to hang back and let them fight this out. Tommy Withers sits in the 9th position behind Colin McDonough in that 3-9. Withers to the outside, and he's going to try and slingshot around into 7th. Up 11 places from where he started. He's going to go into the bus stop there. A little bit of side-by-side action. Dakota Pierce in that lovely pink-rimmed 50. Scoots out of the bus stop. Jimmy Kerr, the 3rd, makes it through the bus stop without flying all over the place this time. Aaron Edwards says, go 16. Looking forward to TNT week number 1. Talking about the guy that just took the lead, by the way, Matt Seeger. Takes the lead and he's about to lose it. No, he hangs on to it. What do I know? I know absolutely nothing. That was a great move into turn number 1, just sliding that race car through there. That was cool to see. Cody Pennell sits behind him. The rain continues to fall. Nick Pressey, on the other hand, holding back. And I'm just wondering if he's trying to save fuel, because drivers may not have enough to go the distance. I don't expect drivers enough to have to go to the distance. Noah Belleville in the chat saying, with all the 24-hour practice to lean on, Cody Pennell is moving, and so is Matt Seeger. I don't know if he's won an ARCS race yet, but it's about time. People have expected him to win for a very, very long time. There's Briley Wright, who's back out onto the racetrack. I know there's going to be 10 laps to go this time by, but can Matt Seeger hold on? 16 still has the lead out of the infield. Cody Pennell sails around the competition, and already 2/10 the gap. But the cars just draft so well, and it's almost like they have a parachute in the rain. Oh, Cody Pennell, does he overcook it into turn number 1? Matt Seeger almost does. 2 wheels on the grass. Connor Morse now has to get around him. Pennell goes way wide out of that first corner and now headed towards the horseshoe. The competition just rages on. Connor Knowlton continues on into 4th. Nick Pressey has damage from the back, and he's just trying to hold on. Mike LaJoy on an island by himself. Josh Battles, Dakota Pierce, Colin McDonough. They're locked in as a threesome into turn number 1. Let's go on board with Pierce. Colin McDonough's lost the front end of his race car somehow. He just crashed, too. Let's have a look. This is right as we went on board with Dakota Pierce. What happened to the 39? Way too hot. Way too hot. Oh, no. Mike LaJoy went around, and Colin McDonough just binned him. And then... oh, LaJoy going really wide. Oh, coming in way too hot, and really, I think Mike tried to keep it moving, and he just hesitated, and man, nothing that you can do there. So they're going to keep it pushing with wrecked race cars. Cody Pennell leads Connor Morse. Matt Seeger sits behind him, and Connor Knowlton is in 4th, 6 seconds adrift. Corey's cousin, Mike, now trying to come back up onto Dakota Pierce. And the race for the lead still goes on. Briley Wright sits just ahead of the leaders. 6 laps complete at Daytona. Connor Morse to the lead. And these are the points coming into race number 3 of 6. We're taking a break next week, so we're not going to race at Homestead next week, but we'll be racing at Homestead the week after that. But this Thursday, TNT is back. Race number 1 of season 10 at the Homestead, at the Indianapolis Oval, not the Homestead Oval. Race number 1. Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun to watch. Connor Morse in that 62. Cody Pennell sits behind him, and Matt Seeger running in third in that Duncan machine. Let's go on board with the 16. Noah Belleville in the chat asking, how is he still the points leader? I don't know. I guess you're tied for the lead with Donald Ray. Maybe because you won one of the only 2 completed races, Moldy. Maybe that way. I don't know. We've only run 2 races so far. You've won one of them, so that explains why Noah Belleville is the points leader. Donald Ray winning last week at Indianapolis, and that was an incredible wreck fest. If you get the chance, watch that race at Indy. It was just crash after crash. It was fun, though. We had a good time, and that's what these little MX-5s are about. It's about having a really, really good time. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of the season. So next Monday, no racing. The Monday after that, the Homestead Oval. The race after that is going to end up being Connor Morse goes for a skid. The race after that is going to end up being the goodness, what am I trying to say? Monza with no chicanes, mind you. So just like the Formula 1 circuit, without any chicanes. So as fast as possible. That's going to be the semifinal. And then Atlanta Motor Speedway, the new configuration. That's going to be the final. And that's going to be probably another wreck fest as well. But we're going to have a good time. Doesn't matter. One more lap to halfway. Connor Morse leads Matt Seeger. Cody Pennell sits in third. Briley Wright is a lap down and not a part of this fight. Dakota Pierce, Josh Battles running 1-2. Let's go on board with Josh Battles. Duncan to Duncan, nose to tail. The coffee cars running 1 and 2. Cody Pennell sits in third. Connor Knowlton trying to get his way around Briley Wright. Morse, Seeger, Pennell. Caution free so far, despite many, many cars having damage. Nick Pressey on an island by himself. Kyle St. John in the double 5, also by himself in that number, the number 55. He's going to spin it coming out of the bus stop there. And his character's now terrified. How's Elrich George in the number 40? Actually doing the opposite of Cody Pennell. Identical race cars, but one Red Bull machine doing way better than the other one. Frydog says it looks good, talking about Matt Seeger in that second position. Cody Pennell running in third in that Red Bull machine, and then Connor Knowlton among the mist sitting there in fourth, and he's finally pounced on this lead pack. Let's go on board with Connor. Grandma Jeannie in the house as well, saying hi to Noah Belleville. Gotta love it. And they're coming into the pits. They know they can't make it on fuel. Now everybody has to come into the pits and hope they don't get a penalty while they're at it as well. Nobody wrecks on the way in. Seeger, Pennell, Morse, Knowlton, all into the pits. That leaves Dakota Pierce, Josh Battles, Mike LaJoy, and JK3, Jimmy Kerr III, as the 4 drivers in the top 10 that have not yet come into the pits. Elrich George also has not come into the pits, but Elrich George, as you may know from previous races, has a tendency to save as much fuel as possible. The drivers have a maximum of 15 laps. They weren't ever going to make it on fuel. Cody Pennell leaves the pits. Matt Seeger behind him, and that's interesting because Seeger, with respect, sucks at attacking pit road. He is awful at attacking pit road with speed and getting off pit road with that same efficiency. That can cost him a race, as he, on cold tires, puts the hammer down and almost flings the car off the racetrack. Look how wide he is. Get a grip. Matt, come on, get a grip. Connor Morse is going to get around him. Connor Knowlton is now going to fill the space behind the Duncan machine. And Seeger, once the car's up to temp, once the tires are running at peak efficiency, he knows what to do. How about Connor Morse trying to Tokyo drift his way through it? Did Morse overcook it? He did. He slightly overcooked it. And Cody Pennell tearing away 3/4 of a second the gap. Connor Morse, Matt Seeger sitting behind him. We should have gone for more than 15 laps. This is unbelievable. This is some great racing here so far. Oh, did Matt Seeger overcook it out of the infield? Here comes Connor Knowlton to the inside. Emily talking about Matt and how he's been practicing so hard on his pit lane entrance. You can see it has paid off dividends. I didn't finish that thought about Matt Seeger. Oh, well, speak of the Duncan cars, Connor Morse has now made up a track. Connor Morse said, screw it. I'm going to drive here. And individuality, innovation, clearly two of Connor Morse's strengths. Finishing first, maybe not. But Connor Morse said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make up my own racetrack out of the bus stop, and we're going to try and win that way. What happened? It just went in too hot. And he found the access road, and he decided, you know what? We're not going to take that to the end either. And he decides to sail across the infield grass in turn number 3. He's back out up to race speed. Cody Pennell leading this race. Connor Knowlton in second, and Matt Seeger now sitting in third. Mike LaJoy, Josh Battles, Jimmy Kerr running 7th, 8th, and 9th, and that looks like Josh Battles who's going to make his way into the pits. So that leaves Bahamian Elrich George as the only driver who has not yet come into the pits. He runs in 12th. And I think he might try and finish this on 1 tank of fuel, and if he does, kudos to him. It's getting darker. Cody Pennell, Connor Knowlton sits behind him, and Matt Seeger overcooks it, but he keeps it on the blacktop. 9/10 the gap. Connor Morse in the distance, and the top 3 just starting to spread out now. And you wonder. This is where the experience starts to set in. As Noah Belleville was saying earlier in the chat, the drivers that participated in the 24-hour race, the officials that iRacing was putting on earlier last week, they have the upper hand here. They have the advantage. It shows in Cody Pennell, Connor Knowlton, Matt Seeger. Up until the previous lap, Connor Morse. Even Nick Pressey, who participated as well. He sits in 5th. He rounds out the top 5. Briley right behind him is in 14th. Elrich George finally comes into the pits. Cody Pennell has the 3 of Connor Knowlton behind him, and he doesn't have it sewn up. And it gets incredibly dark at Daytona now. The battle for first. With 5 laps to go. Connor Knowlton just went purple. 2:24.98. Quickest lap so far. Connor Morrison, the 62, now sits behind him. And we've got this weather on 8X, so the sun is going to set here at the racetrack, and we're going to finish in darkness as Connor Knowlton almost skids the race car out of the first position. Cody Pennell puts the binders on, and he now follows in that misty wake. Amazing racing so far, according to Landon. We'll see how this one ends up. Cody Pennell to the inside of Connor Knowlton. Matt Seeger in the 16. He sits in third. He's got a shot to win it. On board. Matt, shift the car. I think both Nick Pressey and Matt Seeger just decided they're just going to rev the car to an almighty nothing here as the track now goes into full darkness. Connor Knowlton in the 3 with Cody Pennell behind him. And there's your complete running order coming to 4 laps to go at Daytona. Connor Morse 5 seconds off the pace. And that just might do it for car 62. Connor Knowlton in that number 3, weaving down the back straight, heading into the bus stop. He says, I want the wide entrance. Cody Pennell's going to get to his inside, and, well, he just can't make the move, but maybe Pennell's going to have a great attack. Colin McDonough goes around in the 39. What happened to him? This is out of the infield. He's moving in a straight line. He'll be fine. Connor Knowlton leads, and Cody Pennell will now draft behind him. Matt Seeger watches from a distance. They will drag race to the line to complete lap number 11. Knowlton by inches. 5 100ths across the line. Cody Pennell to the inside. Matt Seeger follows behind him. Connor Knowlton, he wiggles. He makes contact with Matt Seeger. The 16 gets a dent on the front end, and Cody Pennell starts to pull away. Pennell with a skid. Connor Knowlton goes wide, way too wide. Matt Seeger's going to almost occupy the inside space. Cody Pennell's going to go wide. Connor Knowlton's going to go to the inside. What do they have left? Knowlton right behind the 2.8 of Pennell. Elridge George going off-roading in the background. Has he lost the braking point? You see Cody Pennell just has to release the brakes. Connor Knowlton will go to the inside now. Landon says, I don't know who Connor Knowlton is, but he knows what he's doing. And Noah Belleville saying it's probably hard for Seeger to see behind the 2 cars up front. Matt Seeger in the 16. Now following Connor Knowlton, who continues to blink in that second position. Cody Pennell will lead out of the bus stop. It's going to be 3 to go this time. They don't need any lights. They know exactly where they're going, and one of them will go to victory lane. 3 laps to go. Elrich George with an incident. Again, Cody Pennell leads. Connor Knowlton in second. Matt Seeger, who's been waiting way too long for an ARCS win, sits in third. It will be 2 laps to go next time they cross the line at this 3.5-mile cathedral to racing. Connor Knowlton gets away with the lead, and Cody Pennell sits behind him with Matt Seeger sitting in third. The attack must be on now from Pennell. Will he get the draft onto Knowlton? Knowlton flies away to the biggest lead of the night. 1 second and counting. 2 to go this time. Knowlton said he's out of here. 8/10 now the gap. Cody Pennell sits behind him. There's Cody Riggs just up ahead, and Matt Seeger sitting in third. What do they have for Knowlton? Knowlton flies through that bus stop. Cody Pennell doesn't get a great exit, and Knowlton will open the lead to 1 second and counting. Seeger now behind the 28. Connor Knowlton just waiting. He's been sat behind Pennell for most of this race. Pennell now starts to reel him in with the draft. There again is the gap. Slowly reeling him in, but again they're going to get into the braking zone. How about Matt Seeger? He wants to take second position. 2 to go. Cody Pennell, Matt Seeger, do they make contact? They continue to race each other. Pennell now within 7/10 to Connor Knowlton. Cody Riggs up ahead. Does Riggs remove himself? He's right in their line. He's right in the racing line. Cody Riggs needs to get out of the way. He's right in the racing line. Riggs applies the brakes. Pennell, Seeger, they make it through. Pennell with a shake. Connor Knowlton, 7/10. He overcooks the horseshoe. Pennell now right behind Connor Knowlton, but does he have what it takes to draft right up behind him into the bus stop? This exit means everything for Pennell. Seven-tenths continues to be the gap. Matt Seeger sits in third. Does he wait for Pennell to attack Knowlton? And now, what do they all do? White flag, this time by. Oh, you really want to see them go for just a couple more laps, just to see what they can do. Connor Knowlton slides into the bus stop beautifully. Cody Pennell behind him, 8/10 the gap. What an exit. What a move by Connor Knowlton. Cody Pennell isn't moving fast enough to reel him in by the time he gets to turn 1. He needs to wait on a mistake from car number 3. White flag in the air. Here comes Pennell. One more last-ditch effort into turn number 1. You see Pennell squirrely under braking, but he's there. Does he have the exit? 4/10 the gap now. Connor Knowlton cannot afford a mistake. Does Seeger go on the offensive? Pennell's going to sail it in. He holds the inside line. Pennell's not done. Knowlton goes wide, and they'll drag race out of the horseshoe through the kink. Pennell's there. He does not have to attack now. He can be patient. I think this is the first ever Rick James TV race that we've run in the rain, and it's going to be a firecracker of a finish. 3-2-8. And the 16 in third. Wide exit by Cody Pennell out of the Western Horseshoe, but he'll have the advantage. He'll have the lead coming out of the infield. 2-8 to the top spot. New leader. Connor Knowlton's not done. Matt Seeger is not done. Mark Dila up ahead. We hope he won't be an issue. Pennell trying to weave, trying to snake through NASCAR 1 and 2. Here comes Knowlton. Knowlton with a bump to Pennell. He wants to get right behind him. This is going into the bus stop. Knowlton on the outside. Ooh, how does he play this one? They're going to drag race. They're going to play the out-braking game. Cody Pennell into that bus stop. He's brave. He slides one way. He slides the other. Connor Knowlton behind him. Pennell leads out of the bus stop. 2-8, 3, 16 your top 3, and Mark Dila up ahead, who will undoubtedly give Pennell a draft. Connor Knowlton has nothing that he can do to fight against that. There goes the 2-8 drafting off of that 2-2. It's going to take a mistake from Pennell. Colton's got a whiff. He's got a hope out of NASCAR 4 to win race number 3 at Daytona. Here comes Knowlton. One more shot to win it under the lights, in the rain at Daytona. It's going to be Cody Pennell across the line. 3/100ths of a second. Cody Pennell, Connor Knowlton, Matt Seeger, 1, 2, 3. The pride of Good Hope, Georgia, comes home in first. Noah Belleville saying the draft from Mark Dila, winning the race for Cody Pennell. Connor Knowlton just barely missed him. Let's see if we can get one more look at this. This is the finish. Connor Knowlton gave it absolutely everything. 3/100ths of a second. The gap. Cody Pennell ends up the victor. He's going to go for a little bit of a spin. He's going to celebrate. And he's just going to kick up some water because there's no way you're getting smoke out of that race car here. But Pennell gets the W. Great way to win it. We're going to talk to our top 3. Cody Pennell, Connor Knowlton, Matt Seeger. Don't go anywhere. on the podium with our top three after what is one of the most entertaining races I've seen in such a very long time. That was just incredible. Cody Pennell ends up your winner. Matt Seeger comes home third on the podium. And Seeger, that was a really good way to end that race as well. You had a chance to win that from start to finish.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I don't think you can put it any other way than incredible. I mean, what a race between Connor, Cody, and myself. The really tough conditions with the rain. It got really bad towards the end, almost to the point that you couldn't see the entry to the bus stop. But otherwise, man, that was so much fun. I love racing in the rain, so it's a good time.
We get a break next week, then we get the Indianapolis Oval. But of course, the Homestead Oval, the Indianapolis Oval actually comes this Thursday. So we're going to see you there for the start of TNT Season 10, man. But congratulations on third. Let's talk to the guy who finished second as well. Connor Knowlton, you and Matt Seeger had your own private little battle there for a moment when we thought Cody Pennell was running away with the lead. But you held on to that lead super well for 2 or 3 laps where we thought you were going to win this race.
Yeah, no, I once I got the lead, my whole premise is really just trying to do the horseshoes as best I could and try and break away from the toe. And I had it for a while, but then the both of them nailed it on with 2 to go, and I was kind of in a really bad spot. But once Cody got back to the lead, I was behind him, so I was just drafting, trying to see if I could make something happen. And I caught up to him, and I just couldn't decide whether I wanted to go high or low. I didn't want to wreck him, and he put a really good block on, made me think. It was so wet I couldn't really make a good decision, and went high and just came up a little short. But can't be disappointed in having a race like that though.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was really really good racing. I'm actually really excited to see just what goes on in a couple of weeks, and especially this Thursday when we take out the Gen 4 cars. Let's talk to our race winner as well, Cody. Between Matt Seeger and yourself and Connor Knowlton, you all put on an incredible last few laps, man. What a show!
Yeah, Rick, that was awesome. I've run hundreds of races and arcs, and that one was by far the favorite. And it doesn't even really count for anything, but it was just a lot of fun. So yeah, huge shout out to Matt there at the end. He was helping me get back to Connor because Connor had pretty much checked out. He had gotten through the infield so clean one time that I couldn't make it back up with the draft. And the conditions in the bus stop just rapidly deteriorated at the end there. It was almost like going across a lake at the entry. So catching back up to him was going to be hard without Matt. So huge shout out to him and Connor. I mean, both Connors. That was just some of the most fun racing I've ever had on the service. So appreciate you putting the race on and everybody coming out and running. That was a lot of fun.
Watching that drag race to the line, you guys just put on a great last lap, and I mean that's why we love racing, man. So I'm glad you could come out. I'm glad you could have a good time, man. Shout out and love to your family. Thank you for coming through. So the pride of Good Hope, Georgia, Cody Pennell, ends up with the race win. He's actually won a few races in Thursday Night Thunder himself. He makes a rare appearance every now and then. Don't expect to see him Thursday, but expect to see a lot of names that we mentioned tonight right here Thursday. This Thursday, 8:40 Eastern, same time we started tonight, the Gen 4 cars. They're loud, they have twisted shapes, they are incredibly hard to drive, but they put on such a good show. I can't wait to see them in action Thursday night. I hope you're going to be there too. For everybody that tuned in, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in for every single lap. So we're going to take a break next week. No Mazdas next Monday, but in 2 Mondays, we're going to have them at the Homestead Oval, then Monza with no chicanes, and the Atlanta Oval for the finale. But before all of that, again, I cannot stress enough how excited we all are. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, they were mentioned in the chat tonight. They're again going to partner with us for another season of Gen 4 Sim Racing. Keep tuned for more new things, more new announcements on Rick James TV Twitter, on Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. We actually have some more work to do to get ready for Thursday, so we're going to hang on to that. We're going to see you then, and until that next race, stay safe, take care of each other, and we will see